it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast.
Okay, I am here today with Erica Mandy from the NewsWorthy. Erica, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Give us a little bit about you.
Sure. I'm Erica Mandy. I am the founder and host of a daily news podcast called The NewsWorthy. And before I started that, I was a TV news reporter. Started in a small town in Missouri, worked my way up to Los Angeles, and then quit all of that to start a podcast.
Awesome. How does one make the decision to say, you know what? This whole thing I thought I signed up for isn't what I want to do. Let me do this on my own.
Well, I mean, one of the main reasons was because I kept hearing from people, working in news, that news was too depressing, time-consuming, biased, overwhelming. It's causing me anxiety. I'm just going to tune it out altogether because I can't handle it. And so there was part of me that just wanted to solve that problem. And then personally, I was also feeling some of that. Even working in news, I was covering tragedy every day, and it takes a toll after 10 years. And so I wanted to change that up as well, but still stay in news. And then on the side, I was seeing what was happening with podcasting. This was 7 years ago at this point, or even more so because it was before I actually launched. And I saw that podcasting was going up. It was definitely not as big as TV news yet, but I saw where the trends were going, right? And I started getting inspired about this idea that you could just listen on the go without having to watch the 5 o'clock news or stare at another screen when we're already looking at social media so much. And so I became really intrigued with the podcasting medium, in addition to trying to solve this problem of how do I help people stay informed without having all of this anxiety and annoyance, and having to commit hours upon hours every day looking at, the latest breaking news alert.
Was podcast the only idea? Were you playing with other ideas about what you might want to get into? Or were you sure from the get-go that podcasting was it?
I was sure podcasting was it. One, because I was a reporter. I have enjoyed anchoring before where I'm, speaking and using my voice in that way. And so I think I brought, and part of this idea was I'm going to bring a friendly voice to news. I'm not going to be the and let me tell you the latest news, that anchor voice that everybody laughs at. I don't want that. I was sick of it. I didn't want to be that for somebody. So let me bring this kind of voice that is unique to me, that I have 10 plus years of experience honing, because in my first job, it was not a good voice, right? I had to hone that voice and all of this journalism experience that I have. And I just feel like I had this unique perspective, unique voice that I wanted to bring. But with podcasting, not only did I see, this is really interesting that you can listen on your commute, you can listen on the go, but also it's easier to start, the resources you need. I didn't need to have a big video crew or studio and stuff like that. And now I think for the most part, it really is about being in people's ears when it's convenient to them.
Yeah.
And that just excited me to see where podcasting was going. I just saw more opportunity in podcasting too, because there was no daily news podcast at the time when I first started. And actually, I remember when I was kind of in between having the idea and actually launching is when The Daily from the New York Times launched. And I went into my husband's office, because we both work from home now. And I was like, it's over. I don't know if I can do it. The New York Times just launched what I have been thinking about, And then I sat back and realized that what they were doing was very different than my idea. And that's the beauty of podcasting, right? We can both exist. And if somebody wants to listen to both of us, great, they can. The bigger players getting in just brings more people to podcasting. And then I have an opportunity to capture their attention. And I have heard from listeners who listen to, NPR's Up First and the NewsWorthy, and they get very different things from it. And that's the beauty of it. And they're, mine is quicker, I think friendlier and more upbeat, more fair and unbiased. And so those are all of the things that I'm bringing that other shows don't.
I think what people don't understand, especially if they haven't been an entrepreneur, but also if you've never been an entrepreneur or you've only been an entrepreneur, I think there's a ground level truth when it's your business that like everybody you hire, they're doing a job that you used to do. I would imagine that it's a lot harder for you, even great delegators, but it's a lot harder for you to delegate something in your business than when you show up at the newsroom and like, oh, that's somebody else's job. Cool. I don't have to pay attention to that anymore. That's not my job.
Yes. Certain things that I don't have to say with my voice, then it's been challenging, but like we figured out and I've found really good people and it's worked out. When I hire producers to write things that I'm going to say with my voice, it is challenging because, one, we have weird hours, but it also, at least in the beginning, I have one full-time person and then one part-time person that actually helps with the content of the show now. But at the beginning, it was only part-time people. We have weird hours. It's freelance. And so it's not like you're getting like the best of the best journalists at the beginning. I have a great team members now that I'm very happy to have on the show. But, I was hiring people that were less experienced than me because I would still review and fact check and all of those things. But man, it was a grind finding the right people to help write content that I didn't have to just fix every time. Because at the end of the day, the content of the show is what was going to make or break us. It was my voice, so people assumed it came from me. It wasn't like, as you said, somebody else's job and they are held responsible for that. Somebody I worked with in TV news who stayed a friend over the years, we worked together in a small town in Missouri. Then I was working in LA and she was working in Dallas, Texas as a producer. So after I quit as a reporter and started the show, and I was a few years in already, we were just chatting and catching up. And I was like, man, I wish I could just hire you. And she was like, well, would you? Like, maybe I want to. She's like, I just need to be able to make as much money as I'm making now. And I was like, I was surprised to figure out that I could match what she was making. And when she came on full time, it was like a big leap for me to hire someone full time. It was an investment.
Yep.
And I'm so glad because I hired her and then literally she started in March of 2020.
Cool.
When the pandemic hit and everything became even more intense with news, right? So grateful to have her help. And it took time for her to like also learn the style. It was different. And there was a big training process. But it's like today, she does the show better than I can. And it's been a journey. But I'm really happy with where we're at now. And I'm very grateful for that help because, it's just not doable on your own for too long.
How do you see your show growing, changing, listener demos? Like what's happening in the next 12 months for the Newsworthy?
Well, I think some of what we've already talked about, as people kind of want to stay informed but feel overwhelmed. We just finished an election. A lot of people have a lot of different feelings about it. You don't want to tune out completely, but I think we can't sustainably just be fighting in the comment section all the time and like live our lives well. So I hope that will be that place that people can find to have like a steady, trustworthy place of information without feeling all of the overwhelm that I think can come with a lot of news today. So I think there's an opportunity for us to kind of get the word out again of what we offer in this time in America. We're definitely ready in 2025 to expand again. And to make sure people know we exist. I think at the end of the day, the content speaks for itself and we just need to keep doing what we're doing. But I need to, again, make sure that more people can find us because how we marketed at the beginning doesn't work anymore. And so it's always finding what is the next thing that's going to help us grow.
Awesome. Can't wait. We'll stay tuned. Erica, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. See you soon.
Another round, so much more to talk about. Gonna aim to satisfy with help from Cashfly. Get to it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast. The Anycast podcast, brought to you by Cashfly.